How's it going, YouTube? Today we're going to be covering Hammerhead Bridge. We actually have a collection of two games here. The first one will be covering a defensive option, and I believe the second one will be a little bit more aggressive. On large maps like this, you need to get to the center as quickly as possible, so usually taking the middle route is the best choice. Your team needs you in the zone to cover ink. So defensive zoning on Hammerhead Bridge is pretty easy. You just hang out in your plat in your box and just fling ink. You put up a sprinkler on that post on the side. Here we go. We're going to put it up there. Here it comes any minute now. Boom. In splat zones, it doesn't matter what side you put it on, but in Tower Control and Rainmaker, the plat is barricaded in the front to have a little doorway to the right side. So what you want to do is throw it on the right wall, so that way the team has to come around their wall on the little plat in order to destroy it. I know that's a little confusing to say, but hopefully in practice you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, by now you might have noticed something a little off about this. Why am I still alive after standing on that grate for so long? Oh, this team has very little range to work with. I think the most range they have is a bamboozler, and yeah, there they are. It's really easy to get kills on a team with all short range, especially with Dynamo on this map. It is crazy good. So the reason I'm showing you this clip first and then a second clip is because this game is pretty, I don't want to say boring, but it's really straightforward. You just have the range advantage, so you're able to camp up there and deny any access to the zone. And if not, you still have your echo. Your team can handle them. I mean, you're effectively controlling the entire zone yourself, and your team's there to pick off the kills. If you get kills too, I mean, that's just a little bonus. If the other team had an E-leader, we would not be up here. It's not safe at all. And another thing I want to point out, we are the only one alive right now, and we don't even feel it. I didn't even notice that I was the only one alive until I went back to editing. It is pretty safe up here, and the fact of the matter is, unless they have the range to pick you off, you're gonna have a field day. I don't want to underplay the other team right now. They were actually really good, but the fact of the matter was, we just had a really good safe area. Despite being the only one alive right now, we make survival look pretty easy. That's just because of our range advantage, and we are able to back up, just swing some ink, make them back up, until our team has enough time to come back and help us. As a little side note, I sometimes use echolocator right after getting a double because I will most likely be out of ink at that point, and it is very effective at just recharging your ink tag really quick so that you can pursue another 1 or 2 squids to get the quad or the triple, whatever it is that your little heart desires. Now for those Dynamo users out there who prefer a more aggressive style, this part of the video is for you. What we're going to do is pretty similar to the first part, except we are going to get into their base a little bit, and we're just going to wreak havoc and really make it hard for them to come out. And as we talked about earlier, it's really important to get in the zone as quickly as you can, so that way your team has an advantage in the turf over the other team. Now if you notice on the right hand side there is someone in our snipe, but they are able to jump out. If you saw Squid Kid's video on being a support character, it's really important that you call that out for your team, especially if you're zoning as a Dynamo. You have the field of vision that your teammates just don't have. The reason I like to be on this little wall thing here is that it's really good for like getting a view of the zone itself. If your team is around that area, they're not going to be able to see around the corners, so you'll be able to tell them exactly where they are, and if it's a short range team like this, you'll tell them to stay away from that corner. Something that I always stress in my videos is that you should only be aggressive if you have echo available. You can't just run in there and hoping for the best when you get your wind up going. You might miss, and if you miss, like I said in the little text there, it is a commitment. You will probably die unless they're bad at aiming. It's really easy to get in the habits of hoping they have bad aim, because, you know, climbing up through the easy ranks makes it pretty consistent to just swing randomly and get kills. But once you reach high level play, especially in tournaments, they're going to kill you before you can even get one swing out. Now let's talk about what we're doing over here on the left side. Basically on every map there are 3 entrances to the center area. It's true especially, or it's like, you know, obvious on maps like Port Mackerel, but on this map there is the snipe route, there is the court route, and then there's the middle route. We are essentially locking down the left route from the other team, making it really hard for them to get to the zone. This is one of the most frustrating things that you can experience in Splatoon, not being able to leave your base and get to the zone, let alone coming back. I also want to thank you guys for all the feedback you gave me on the Camp Triggerfish video. It really helped in preparing for this video, and if you have any more feedback from me on this one in particular, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.